Hey guys, I'm Dave, back with another episode of Debt Free Differently, where I help you pay off debt, manage your money, and even build wealth a little bit differently. Today, we're talking about one of my favorite side jobs that I've used to pay off debt and just make a little bit of extra money: driving. Way back, I was one of Lyft's first drivers in San Francisco, and I did it for years. More recently, when driving as a side gig, I've only been delivering food through services like DoorDash and Postmates. Why? The money is similar enough, but to me, delivering food is just a lot simpler and easier than picking up passengers. And if you're doing this for side money, I think it needs to be low stress and sustainable. I've completed over 1,000 rides and deliveries, so if you've ever thought about driving as a side gig, I hope that this video will help you know a little bit more of what to expect. Now let's get this thing started. Let's start with reason number one: easier pickups. In general, people move around a little bit, but restaurants don't. That alone can be a big reason why food delivery can be a lot easier than ride sharing, especially if you're doing it in the suburbs or a quieter part of town. Restaurants have addresses, so that means you know where you're going and your GPS should know where you're going too. With ride sharing, passengers kind of have a way of walking around a little bit, and there's a higher than you'd expect chance that they're on the opposite corner of the street than you'd expect. With Lyft or Uber, you're going to be driving in unfamiliar neighborhoods, and that can make it really tough to spot someone who's a few hundred feet away from where you expect them to be. Understandably, some passengers get frustrated if you end up passing them because you don't see them. And that can make it a little bit weird when they get into your car, especially if you had to make a full circle around the block because it's a one-way street. That being said, if you live in a big city and you're primarily going to be working in a busy downtown area where parking is at a premium and one-way streets are the norm, pickups of food or people might be challenging no matter what. You know your city best, so definitely think about if there's a place where you might be able to find that balance between busy but not insane. Reason number two: food isn't drunk. Since the early days of ride sharing, the occasional drunk, high, or rude person has always been part of the job. These passengers can be loud, indecisive, and yes, they might throw up in your car, and if they do, your side gig is on hold until you can get the smell out, and that's not easy to do. One time I was driving a jolly group of 20-somethings on to the next bar, but they changed their minds on where they wanted to go. Of course, they forgot the name of the bar, but they roughly knew where it was, and they said that they'd direct me on where to go. Do you know how hard it is to get directions from three extremely drunk people that are yelling all at the same time? And do you know how mad they get when you miss a turn that they actually never asked you to take? You know who doesn't do these things? A bucket of chicken, a box of cookies, a pizza. They know where they're going, and they tell you politely via an app. Reason number three: you're delivering happiness. So this is a little bit of an exaggeration, but when you deliver food to someone's house, you're delivering them a critical life staple. For those 5 seconds that you're the pizza guy or DoorDash at the door, you're a low-key hero. You are literally delivering food to them that sounded better than everything else that they had inside their home. When you do ride sharing, while most people are pretty nice, you're often taking people to a job they might not love, taking them home after a long day, or maybe taking them to some place that they're not super excited to go to. You can become part driver and part therapist, which can be fun and fulfilling in its own right, but it also zaps your energy pretty fast. So yes, with food, happiness isn't guaranteed, but most of the time, your delivery is met with a smile. Reason number four: your personality isn't rated. So before I get into this one, I loved talking to my Lyft passengers. When this all got started, it felt a lot more like a community than it does now. Now, you're pretty much a taxi driver, and you're often treated like one. In the early days, we would laugh, we would sing, we would be best friends for 15 minutes at a time. I will never forget a 30-minute ride I had with a minister that I was dropping off to officiate a wedding. We just chatted the whole way and were cracking each other up for the whole ride. I will never forget those moments. That being said, it isn't easy to be on or click with every single one of your passengers for a whole shift. Maybe your personalities just clash, you might be tired, they might be tired, or God forbid something like politics might come up. You know who doesn't care what mood you're in or how funny you are? Mrs. Chicken Nuggets and Mr. Cheesesteak. As long as you get your meals from your car to a house efficiently, everyone is happy. Sure, a restaurant might mess up or be slow every now and then, but that meal is a distant memory for you and your customer probably within the hour. Reason number 5, food does not care what you drive. When you drive for Lyft or Uber, the condition and age of your car matters. For example, in Denver, you can only do ride sharing if your car is a 2005 or newer. That means if your 1998 Toyota Corolla with 250,000 miles is still running like the days it was your high school getaway car, you can't do Uber. If someone backed into your car at Costco while you were picking up groceries and it has physical damage, you can't do Lyft. Ride-sharing passengers want to ride in a clean car, and you'll get dinged if it isn't clean inside and out. When I knew that I was driving Lyft the next day, I would vacuum and wipe down the inside of my car every night, and that was 15 minutes that I wasn't getting paid for. Food will take your car as it is. It doesn't care if you have 10 water bottles clanging around on the floor of your passenger seat, or if your side mirror is held on with duct tape. As long as it has a place to sit that's nice and clean and secure and a place for its cups, it's good. If you can safely transport food from point A to point B, your vehicle qualifies. And that's a beautiful thing, even if you're driving a less than beautiful car. Now, the big caveat with all this is tips and surge pricing. So with things like Lyft and Uber, you can absolutely get some pretty insane payouts if you drive during rush hour, take people to games, festivals, or even pick people up from the airport. Your passengers probably won't be thrilled about it, but if you gamble a little bit with some surge pricing events every now and then, you can probably make a good amount of money, even if it ages you to find the right passenger. With food delivery, I have had the occasional unicorn. With Postmates, I once got a $75 tip for delivering a $400 dinner in Bel Air, but it was only one time. The highest tip that I've ever gotten on DoorDash was $16, and that was for a $100 dinner from Black Eyed Peas, and that's really nothing to write home about. I had a lot of orders where I had 0 tip at all. Real talk, guys, if you are ordering food delivery to your house and you cannot afford to tip $1 to your driver, you shouldn't be ordering food. With food delivery, the money is pretty consistent, but I admit it's definitely less exciting than ride sharing, where your sparkling personality or someone's very large business expense account can absolutely make your night. There you have it, guys. When it comes to doing driving side jobs, those are just a few of the reasons why I prefer doing food delivery over doing ride sharing these days. If you learned something new or like this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it with a friend, or subscribe to my channel. You can absolutely get the occasional big payout doing ride sharing from a big tipper, surge pricing, or a special event, but it also comes with a lot of headaches. Also, feel free to try both. You might find that where you live is great for one and not so good for another. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next episode of Debt Free Differently.